Hello and welcome to another episode of Shadowverse. I'm so distracted because Tanko just told me the most insane story right before we started recording. Hello and welcome to another episode of All Point, your Shadowverse podcast. We talk about the news, we talk about a main topic. Kaelan's not here today. He's on a dangerous quest to some distant land, finding out a deck other than Unlimited Hozumi that he likes to play. So he's gonna be a while. So with me is just SuchPettanko. Hello!
It is just me for today. Yes, Kaelan is on the trip to the Outback. He's stranded in the Outback trying to find his inner self. Yeah. Trying to learn one rotation deck, maybe. We'll see.
He's not going to be here next week either, and it'll be really funny if the week after that he comes back and he's like, yeah, so I've been playing Hozumi. So.
Yeah. Some things never change.
So, guys, I am Ignideus. I cast Shadowverse. I make content for Shadowverse. And Tanko is also a Shadowverse streamer. Yippee.
Yippee. I play Photocraft sometimes. Every time, just in case.
Because, this might be somebody's first episode. And then, they'll be like, who are these people?
Yeah.
I was looking at our stats for Spotify and stuff. And we have like 12 listeners. That's
crazy. I didn't even know anyone actually listened to podcasts on Spotify, to be honest.
I'm a podcast Spotify guy, but I just thought that everybody would be watching this on YouTube. But no, we got like a hardcore fan base of at least 12 people.
Yo, shout out to those 12 Andys out there.
Yeah, I mean, I probably should say this on air because I never do. I just put it in the description who nobody reads, but we are on Spotify and like... Amazon podcasts and stuff, like if you prefer.
I've never even considered using other platforms for podcasts, but that's just me.
Well, as you can probably tell, it's a lot of bantering this week because there's not that much news. So.
Because there's not much news, should I recount the story I was telling?
Yeah, okay, let's go for it.
Since we got time.
Let's go.
Iggy and I, we were talking about the eclipse and how I wasn't able to see the eclipse because even though the eclipse was a thing in America, apparently it was only localized to America specifically. I never get to see these kind of things because Hawaii, the Mao.
Yeah.
Which reminded me of I was telling Iggy like, oh, did I ever tell you that I have one bad eye?
Which was new lore to me, by the way. I did not know this until now.
I'm half blind in one eye. Like, I think I've mentioned this once or twice on stream as well, but I have one half blind eye because, for the longest time, I thought I was born with it. That's just how I was built. But then I remembered this time when I was a baby, when I was a kid, when I was a dumb toddler. So... they tell you not to look at the sun.
Great start to a story.
They tell you looking at sun bad. And as a small baby born Photocraft main that I am, I was like, haha, bet. Oh, this sucks. What if I close one eye? If I look with only one eye, it's not so bad. This isn't so bad. I can tank this. I can handle this. And I might have looked at the sun for like possibly a full minute straight before.
A full minute is absurd. That's too long.
Maybe it was just a full minute in a child's brain, but it was definitely for enough time to cause permanent damage.
Yeah, no. You don't say.
No one even dared me to do it. It was just me. It was just me making a bet to myself.
Yeah, you were just like, I bet I could do it. Yeah.
No one asked. To tell the tale. I asked.
No, just like the idea of that you doing it and people around you just like letting you do it. And it's like, just leave him alone.
I must have done it in the middle of like a recess or something.
So the kids are just like, oh, it's that guy again. He's insane.
Or even worse, I might have done it like during a class too. And the teacher just didn't notice. The teacher just didn't stop me.
Oh, you're like looking outside the window. You're like, this math homework is really boring. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stare at the sun with one eye for a full minute.
I'd rather stare at the sun than listen to class right now.
God damn. Anyway, that's an insane story. I didn't even know I didn't even know you were half blind in one eye, and I was expecting like some sort of like, I was born with it or some normal backstory. But no, you just looked at the sun for no reason.
Lord. I was born with a giga brain.
Yeah. Anyway, what have you been up to this past week other than? Well, that's not really that past week. That was in your childhood. I hope you've been doing more productive things this past week, other than looking at the sun.
Haven't been looking at the sun lately. Old habits die hard. The Blue Archive anime came out.
Yeah,
this
I
weekend.
heard it was good.
It is so good. It is peak.
I'm happy for you.
It is almost perfect. The only problem I had with it is that like this is a bit more nitpicky, but I was hoping for more like OST from the video game.
Oh, because it has a specific vibe, right?
Yeah, the Blue Archive OST is iconic. It's got a specific vibe. One of the biggest scenes, the prologue, they like that. The background music for that is so important that it kind of made me a little bit upset that they didn't bring it back.
Damn.
So I did a bit of a cheeky edit, and I put that song Ao Haru. I edited into that anime scene, but I did that edit. It's a really nice edit, but I can't post it anywhere because I tried uploading to YouTube and it got instantly blocked.
Well, yeah.
not even content claimed, just actually blocked.
Damn.
And I can't post it on LiveEdit because they have an anime spoiler policy. At least I can't upload it for a couple of days. So it's just stuck on my Twitter where no one's going to see it because who cares?
You're like a prophet bringing the promised information, but you can't share it with anybody. It's tragic.
Yeah, like I've seen the truth, but the world is not ready. And speaking of Blue Archive and Mahjong Soul, my two favorite things, are having a collab.
Nice.
Which is like they originally announced this on April Fools, and I was like, bro, don't joke about this. You're not allowed to joke about this. I swear to God, it's real, and I've pre-ordered. I've spent money. I bought a couple. I bought some jade bundles because one of those things was like, oh yeah, we reset the double jade, the double gems every year kind of thing. It's like,
damn.
The gacha in Mahjong Soul is so bad. So I'm gonna need a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to pull all four of them.
Do you know that Blue Archive also has a Weiss Schwartz set? I think so.
I do know that, and I will be there when it comes out in English. I will be there day one.
Dude, gacha games are going super platinum. Like I feel like the anime for gacha games are getting better these days, and also like Nikkei got a Union Arena set that is apparently flying off the shelves in Singapore, so that's crazy.
People play Union Arena?
No, that's what I was saying.
People care about Nikkei? What?
Yeah, apparently. Anyway, we're like 10 minutes in. We haven't talked about Shadowverse at all, so I'll bring it in. I finally got GM this past week, and by this past week I mean congrats. Like I was at 6K the whole time, and then I was like, this meta sucks, so then I took a break and I played Vanguard and watched anime for a week. Yesterday I tried Wrath for the first time, and I'm like, this is literally like I'm cheating. And I just
easiest shit ever, yeah.
I just became GM in under 24 hours since I started playing Wrath. I just booted it up, and I was doing it while I was editing videos. So
yeah, you were like barely paying attention, which makes sense.
No, I was not paying attention. I was literally editing multiple videos, multiple projects at the same time while playing Wrath and while chatting to people on Discord DM, like triple multitasking. And I just got GM, and I'm like, oh, this is easy. I'm free.
Congrats.
I can finally play other things. I'm free.
It's like, congrats, but it does say a lot about the state of Wrath that you literally don't even have to try.
No. I will say Machina is pretty good, though. After fighting it as Wrath, I feel like Machina fighting it as Natura is like a little stinky baby, and then Machina Shadow fighting it as Wrath, I'm like, oh, that's why this deck works. It's like,
yeah, it's just really annoying
times. Yeah.
Machina Shadow is not actually that bad. It's just very matchup reliant.
I will also say that if you just get all the rondos and chimeras in time, literally nothing can beat you.
Yeah,
it doesn't
exactly.
matter how much they heal. I've had opponents heal like 25 in the course of a game and they still die. And
it's an aggro deck that has all the heals, all the draws, so it can play a long game. It's very fair.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll never play it ever again.
Nice. I did play Shadowverse. I didn't just think about Blue Archive and staring at the sun the entire week. Actually, it's kind of a shame that it is a shame that Kaelan is not here because I did play Unlimited.
Oh my god.
I started playing the Unlimited Yuan Works, the Hyper Resonance deck, and it's not bad.
That one's fun. You got 6 Yuans in there, maybe even more if you clone them.
Yeah, I don't really win that often with like too many Yuans. I only get like 3 Yuans out at a time, but it's still good enough to win around like turn 4 or 5 sometimes. It's not bad.
I heard Unlimited is really crazy now too, though, because of they just with Wrath getting new tools and D-Shift also getting new tools, that it's become kind of nuts.
From what I've experienced so far, it's pretty much just Blood and Rune right now from the ladder. There's a couple other guys, but still a more diverse ladder rotation. Am I right?
Well, actually, during my climb, I was playing Wrath, right? And usually when you face Dragon, you're like, oh, this is a free game. But it was a free game every time I fought Buff and every time I fought Natura. But for some reason, every time I fought Big, they would just super gamble me and I would lose. So then every time Dragon came up, I had like a feeling of dread in my stomach. I was like, it's time. They're gonna get triple Rolla into Damage Shield into Venomon, and then I'm gonna die. And it happened every time. It only happened 3 times, but every time I fought Big, I lost. I'm like, is that a thing?
Yeah, it's very weird that they got it every single time.
Yeah, anyway.
It's your main class calling back to you.
Well, literally now that I'm in GM, I can play that stupid shadow deck that I saw on I fought this on ladder once, and they just reanimate Chronos every time with the Gold Rush Necromancer.
The Chronos loop deck, yeah.
Yeah, and I fought that once, and I made a YouTube short about it. I'm like, look at this wacky deck. And then like 2 days later, Zyasun published, look at this deck I won a 14 win streak with or something, and it was that deck. And I was like, okay, now I have to try
it's real? What? By the way, going back to UL for a second, I don't know if you saw, but last week there was a commenter that got really mad about us saying that UL is not that bad, actually. Like, he was complaining about all these decks, but like, after playing through UL, it's really not that bad after all. In fact, everybody says that Hozumi is an auto-win deck. It's the easiest deck ever. It's cheating, which it is, but I don't see much Hozumi on ladder, and I don't know why.
Well, with Rune having Rosie, it's actually quite hard for them to break through now.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense, yeah.
But that's funny that people are mad that we don't hate Unlimited enough. We already don't play it that much.
Yeah, exactly. and even though we said that, UL is more diverse as like a kind of half joke, but the way that the comment described it, it still sounded more diverse than rotation, because at the very worst, UL is a rock, paper, scissors format. So there's at least 3 decks that are around at all times, as opposed to rotation right now, which is just Wrath and things that can sometimes beat Wrath.
Yeah, it's tough because I would say on my climb, I would fight like half Wrath mirrors. Then the other half is just like random stuff that people are trying out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's sad, but it's fine. I'm in GM now. I can stop playing this deck forever because after this, it's literally gone, and we don't even have rotation anymore. We have throwback rotation, so whatever.
They'll be able to throw it back, yeah.
I hope that the mini... Well, first of all, I hope that we get a patch, which is what the question of the week last week was, which we'll read out later today. But second of all, I hope that the mini actually does change stuff, because the big competition for SVO Masters is on the mini set
Yeah,
meta.
yeah.
So yeah, that'd be nice. Anyway, all right. Shall we move on to the news?
Oh yeah, we have that. Yeah.
That's the biggest intro segment of all time. Mainly talking about Blue Archive and staring at the sun.
It was the best intro of all time.
All right. Well, obviously the Heroes Rotation Cup is happening. You guys are playing it right now. Started on April 7th. The first stage goes till the 12th, the second stage till the 16th, and then the finals till the 18th. Usual Rotation Cup Grand Prix rewards. The cosmetics this time being Evolved Atem, who I think is showing feet, so that's pretty cool.
Yay, feet.
I was playing Vanguard recently, and there were quite a few feet arts in that one too. What's up with that?
Oh yeah, I mean, Vanguard is people act like it isn't, but it's still an anime game.
Yeah.
So there are still some cultured cards and artwork in that game. Yeah.
How has your Grand Prix been going? You played it at all?
I have been playing. I've been playing Artifact, of course. In light of recent events that we'll get to in a moment. But I've gotten very close. But I had a run. I have not qualified yet. I got really mad because I had a run where 3 of my matches I just straight up did not get Rhino at all. Like I just keep drawing dying to bad draws, and that's it really.
It is what it is sometimes. Like, that's what... okay, I'm about to get into it. Okay, so last week, I played Vanguard, and I just like the fact that because of the ride deck, you always get your guy, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas in Shadowverse, sometimes your guy's in the bottom, and then you never play your guy, and then you just lose. And that's always been an issue with Shadowverse card design. We've seen it throughout the years, you know, D shift in the beginning, bottom 10 or whatever. And then, you know, Rocher wasn't a problem because he had tutors, right? But then, you know what I mean? Like, for example, with the Fairy Mirror, like back in the Velsar, you know, Arya in the bottom, and you never get your Arya on time, right?
With Photocraft, you die if you don't draw Deus Ex Machina, you die if you don't draw the Shenna. Remember that time, Igni, where we fought and I couldn't draw the Shenna for like 12 turns?
Yeah, that was pretty funny, actually. I do remember iconic. That. That's what I don't like about the Shadowverse card design. We'll see if they fix that in Worlds Beyond a little bit, like in terms of just having Evolve basically fixed it because there's so many cards that like peep 4 and then like draw 1, and there's so many cards in Evolve that do that it makes it really easy to get your mans, even without having a separate dedicated deck for it. So I don't know. I hope that we get some more of that in the digital game. My Grand Prix went pretty good because it was the first time I decided to play Wrath was during the Grand Prix just to see.
Oh, easy peasy.
I immediately qualified. It was like, with zero experience with the deck, I immediately qualified. I'm like, wow, this is easy. And you know what? I got a 4-1 and I lost to the mirror. So
nice.
Yeah.
I could easily qualify with Wrath, easy peasy, but I don't really feel like it. I'm not that desperate.
I wanted to do it because 1, I needed to make a video on it anyway, and 2, I wanted to just get into Group A so I could just meme with the other decks the rest of the time. So that's what I did for it. I will say though, people are pissed off that I started playing Wrath, and I'm like, it's not like I've become a Wrath guy. You know that now that I'm GM, I can stop, right? But they were like, tisk, tisk, tisk. You've become the enemy. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I can stop.
You've become that which you once sworn to destroy.
It is pretty funny that people are upset about it. I mean, that just means they're passionate about the deck being too strong, I guess, which I guess I can take as a good thing. I will say, though, most of my climb, the majority of it was done with Natural Dragon. So, you know, get off my dick, basically, is what I'm saying.
If I actually want to lock in, I could probably qualify with Necromancy Shadow instead, which hey, the cosmetic is Atem, it's Yugi, so I can win Yugi with Yugi.
Why are there so many shadow legendaries that show feet? Also, can I just double check, does Atem show feet, or have I Berenstain bared myself?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
There it is. There were those grippers.
Anyway, well, let us know in the comments how your Grand Prix went. Seems fine. I'm probably going to play the stupid Grief Shadow Chronos Resurrection deck for the rest of the set until a patch comes out, so let's go. All right, that was literally the only piece of news other than my event the Shadowverse streamer tourney Heroes Battle for the Heroes of Shadowverse launch. It was on April 6th, and guess who won? It was you! It was Taco!
It was me? Fingers pointing emoji. Me?
Dude, your draws were absolutely blessed in that tournament.
Yeah, for some reason, my artifact specifically chose to lock in that tournament.
So, if you guys didn't know, you can check the full VOD out on my channel over on the past live stream section. But it was a tournament where Chimera was banned. Other than that, it was anything goes. And Tanko brought that artifact portal using post-apocalyptic girls and that new Ewan card. And you cooked, man. You won every time.
Dude, this just goes to show how the format would be so much better without Vath. Artifact is good if Vath wasn't a thing. How about that? Actually, to be fair, Artifact kind of has an okay matchup against Vath because of the damage shield, but
it's not enough a lot of the time.
Usually
I fought a lot of Artifacts.
Yeah.
The problem against with Wrath versus Artifact is that like half your turns as Wrath, you don't give any trade targets if you're good, because you just rondo. You just rondo and hit them in the face over and over and over again.
Exactly. And, and Wrath could also just like out aggro you as well, because Artifact doesn't have access to the heals until they are on. Yeah.
Well, rip.
Man, I was so proud of some of my plays in that tournament though, because
you did super hot.
I had really good draws for the first 2 games, and then in the last game, I didn't get Agil, so I had to actually figure out how to navigate the deck, which is like, not trying to pilot Artifact without the Agil engine is doable if you have Rhinos and stuff, which I did have. So, and also the matchup was Healed Haven, so I had trade targets as well too.
No, but even the comments were like, that last match was like an anime match. That was awesome.
Oh,
so
dude,
yeah,
having to stall to get a Geo finally on, I think it was turn 6 or 7.
And then you had to get the Retrofia lethal too, hard body.
Yeah, the mom lethal too. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that time was a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, and I hope everybody else who participated enjoyed it too. You can check out the VOD, like I said, on my channel, Ignideus on YouTube. All right, that's literally all the news, which is why we spent so long talking about literally nothing. Let's go on to esports. JCG online tournaments, as usual, have been progressing. On the 3rd of April, the first place was Machina, Shadow, and Wrath. On the 6th of April, it was Wrath and Spell Boost. Oh my god, Spell Boost mentioned. And then on the 7th, it was Machina, Shadow, and you guessed it, it was Wrath. It's getting to the point where 15 out of 16 of the top 16 are playing Wrath now. So, yippee.
Yippee. The Spell Boost jump scare was refreshing, sure. And
well, Spell Boost actually has... I was playing against Spell Boost and playing as Spell Boost, and it actually does have not amazing, but okay odds against Wrath because of the amount of heals you have and the damage shield with air. Especially now that they're running 3 Asunia's Reconstruction, because you just heal a bajillion with that over and over and over again. If the Wrath aggresses you too much, then it's it's GG. But if you're able to stabilize, then you can often win just by like spamming air over and over again. Yeah, so that's pretty fun. And also Spell Boost beats Shadow, so it's a pretty cool outsider.
Spell Boost is actually really fun as long as you draw the misers.
That's why I switched off it. So
yeah,
I went from 0 to 6k with Valdane, and then Valdane was really bad into the meta because it auto loses to Wrath. No matter what some people say, that matchup is horrendous for Valdane.
I lose. I have a hard time playing Artifact without getting 1 Agil. I have a hard time playing Necromancy without getting a Minth. Bro, in Miser, you have to draw 2 to 3 misers.
You have to draw 2 misers. So that's what I was going to say. I went from Valdane 0 to 6k, and then because it was so bad, I switched to Spell Boost, and I got to 7k, and then I just stopped drawing misers. They were all in my bottom 10 for like 4 games in a row, and I'm like, this sucks. I'm out.
Yeah, exactly. I did 1 miser stream, and I was like, oh, this is getting really inconvenient, bro.
Yeah.
I play all these draw cards, and for what?
Well, I hope that the onlines... Well, listen, people play these onlines to win, obviously, so it's not going to change unless a patch comes out, so yay. All right. Next, reminder, SVO Mini for April is happening. You can sign up. It's happening on April 20th. They've been showing some of the merch pricing you can win for that on the SVO Esports Twitter, including, I believe, let me just double check here. There's a Latica playmat, which is so sick.
Oh my god, Latica, hi.
I know. Yeah, here it is. This is the exact wording. Just in case you needed a reason to sign up for SVO Mini, here's the playmat we've cooked up for this month. Latica is available to anyone who wins all 5 of their games or gets lucky in the raffle. And the playmat actually looks good, dude. Like,
it's a really good reason to play, yeah.
That's the thing is, you're just gonna have to play Wrath, so I don't know if you want to do that.
Hold on, actually. This is the first time ever, possibly ever, I've had a format where I actually like 2 decks.
Yo, is it time?
Is it time for
Artifact and Spell Boost into the...
No, not Spell Boost. No. I guess that's 3 decks, but like probably Lubel instead, Necromancy.
Oh yeah, true. That's epic. And also just another reminder about the Shadowverse Open Masters Cup. They released more details on that as well. The one that qualifies you to the 2025 World Champions with a wild card bye. We talked about that last week, but that's a big deal. It's in, like I said, I believe it's in June. Yep. Which is after the mini. So honestly, if you're a competitor in the SEAO or West regions, you don't really need to care about this meta until after the mini. So there you go. Yippee. Also, we have news from the community. I don't know why I said "buh." They're like a cartoon dumb guy, like Homer Simpson. Yeah, we have news from Alfie, who runs the Shadowverse Monthly Cup, a community tournament with community support prizing. He put in response to our joke or maybe 2 weeks ago, where we were talking about all of those competitive teams quitting with the black text on white background. He posted a tweet with black text on white background, and I was like, oh no. Then the tweet was just like, yeah, we're gonna continue. So
based
there's gonna be one on April 26th, one on May 24th, one on June 7th, and then he even has plans to continue and improve after Worlds Beyond launches. So based Alfie, as usual, thank you, sir, for your service to the community.
Thank you, Alfie, for your service.
Very funny to do the black text, white background as if you're quitting and just be like, no, I'm...
It's like, oh, is this another VTuber graduation? Oh, no.
I'm going to keep going, and frankly, skill issue. Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Now, that's it for the digital game news, but we actually do have quite a bit of Evolve news. First of all, Cosmic Mythos BPO4 for English edition launches on April 12th. I already did my box opening. I got boxes sent over early. You can check that out on my YouTube channel. I pulled some pretty crazy stuff, so I'm happy.
You got the armpit.
Spoilers? Oh, it's in the thumbnail.
Spoilers. It is, yeah.
I got the Cassiopeia Ultimate. It's very, very nice. I'm happy about that. Also, I opened boxes for JP, and I got a leader. But I sold that off because I don't care. Who's Marcotte? I don't care who that is. Yeah, exactly. Anyway,
I think my set 4 boxes are gonna arrive late because I do unboxing streams as well too. But shipping over here can be kind of sketchy for new releases. So I'm probably gonna get my boxes next week. Maybe I only ordered 2 though. I didn't go too hard on set 4.
Yo, Tanko, once you get your boxes, we got a Shadowverse showdown, brother. I got an updated dragon deck for you.
You do? I have a couple updated decks.
Nice. Hell yeah. So you bought singles already? How'd that happen?
No, not for set 4, but
okay.
Well, I don't know if I'm even updating that much for set 4, at least for my main decks.
Yeah, honestly, not that much comes out except for as dragon. Well, as sword, you get the roundtable package. As Necro, you get Ector and all that.
Does the roundtable package do anything?
It's just a different deck. It's just a different archetype. So you're not just playing Leonidas and Hero for the next 12,000 years.
I think the only major huge update that the class had, a huge upgrade that they got, was Forest. Forest is a clear winner of set 4.
Yeah, duh, because of King Elephant. But I will say, and Cassiopeia, obviously. But Dragon gets Sybil, which is actually a really good card. So. Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of huge game-changing stuff in set 4, but there's a lot of stuff that you do need to pick up for future decks.
Yeah, I think set 5 is where the game goes sicko turbo mode when the omens come out. Set 4 is sort of like the calm before the storm, honestly. So
set 5 is when the game goes sicko mode because Protocraft gets mentioned.
That's true. They do. They finally add Lashana. It's
I'm
a
debating.
rune.
I'm debating if I can actually afford to cop a full case of set 5.
I probably will. I talked about this with Tanko earlier, but every box I've opened has been a winner except for the last one where I got 8 monkeys. And that was so bad that I'm quitting boxes forever. That box was so minus that I felt so bad. I had like such buyer's remorse because of that box.
Well, that's how box opening go. You just win some, you lose some. That's just how it is. To be frank, you've actually had it too good for too long.
I have. I opened a leader I didn't care about that I immediately sold, and other than that, I just opened monkeys, and I'm like, this is the worst.
Wait, you still got a leader?
Yeah, I did.
So you still pulled well. It's just you're complaining that I didn't pull the thing that I like.
Dude, it's 8 monkeys.
Wait, I thought you just pulled the 8 monkeys. You still got the leader out of it, and you're like, I'm done.
It's not the good leader though.
It's not the good leader. Get out of here.
No, but listen. The 3 leaders are Momo, who, Marcotte, who, and Ania. Okay, so you can understand that there is a good leader and bad leaders in this. You
realize how many dead boxes I've opened through my lifetime?
I feel like because I'm new to TCGs, you're like the grizzled veteran. You're like, you don't know how bad it gets.
That's just life, buddy.
Yeah, but I'm done. I'm no longer a box guy. It's over.
At the very least, you probably don't need to be a JP box guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Well, I decided for JP, I was buying boxes just for content, but I realized that's expensive, so I'm gonna stop doing that.
I realized that after I opened the first two sets.
Yeah,
I imported 2 sets. Had to pay extraordinary shipping for those. I'm like, wait, I probably shouldn't keep doing this.
It's just more tempting for me because I can just go to the shop and buy a JP box.
Yeah, it is convenient for you, to be fair.
Yeah, so
and you actually do play JP over there too.
Well, I've decided to switch. So instead of buying boxes and wasting money for no reason and then looking at my bank account and being sad, I've decided to only buy dragon singles for JP, and I'm going to sell everything else off. So
yeah,
that's my new strategy. And then I'll build everything for English, and then I'll only play dragon and JP. So it's
like you'll still be opening boxes for English at least. So it's fine.
Yeah. But I was just saying that, like, that box, I'm like, that made me rethink my life. I'm done. Anyway. Speaking of JP, of course, alongside Cosmic Mythos launching in English, Gods of the Arcana BP10 launches April 19th in Japan. And that's the 2nd anniversary set with serial numbers, new anime support, the Arcanas, a new type of Evolve card called an Advanced card. It's really, really cool. If you are a JP guy and you want to buy a case, this is the case to do it for. Pretty much just like buy cases for the anniversary stuff because it's always better. So that's what I got to say about that.
The ultimate rare Linkle though.
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
There are so many ultimates in that set that I need.
Like the Zelgenia as well.
Oh yeah, it's like a set specifically designed for me.
Yeah.
Arcana and anime cards.
Oh, just wait for it to come out in English and then cough us. You got time. You got about a year to raise money. Yeah. Also, alongside the Gods of the Arcana launch is also the DX decks, the deluxe decks, launching on April 19th. It's the $40 for 2 competitive ready decks, which is an absurdly good deal with even exclusive cards in it and even a small chance to pull like a special alt of. I don't actually know. I think it's of Anangrea and also of Romelia. So yeah, pretty cool. Very affordable and competitive ready with new cards even in the package as well. So I really hope it comes to English. I know it has 14 reprints. It has Oracle. It has, like I said, completely new cards like Romelia too. I believe Romelia is new, right? So
yeah.
I really hope that comes to English, man. Like if that doesn't come to English, I'll be so sad.
The rune reprints aren't as strong as the dragon ones, but oh man, Mysteria looks real.
Yeah,
Mysteria looks so good.
A bunch of Mysteria cards, yeah.
They finally made Mysteria a proper deck after printing Anangrea way back in set 2, and never did anything with them.
Yeah. So that's one of those things where I look at it and I'm like, this is a great product, but for some reason I feel like it's not guaranteed if it's coming to English or not. And I'm like, please.
No, it's too
Please.
big of a product. It's too big of a product not to release in English.
I hope you're right. All right. Also, on the English side, Shadowverse Evolved Sidekick has an update. Pretty ahead of time, actually. As you know, Glory Finder is coming in July, where you can do basically Commander from Magic the Gathering, but for Shadowverse. And they updated the Sidekick app, so now you can have health bars for 3 and 4 players as well. So that's pretty sick.
They have different colors. I want to be the 4th player because it has purple.
Yeah. I just think it's like cool that they're already doing it.
Yeah.
Like, that's fast.
You can already play.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can already play Glory Finder at home.
Yeah, without the exclusive cards, but still, you could. Just cool that they're rolling that out now. Speaking of more English news, the spring conference for the Bushiroad English Conference Spring 2024 is what I should say. Excuse me, the legal name. Coming out on April 19th, noon Singapore time. Has news for Vanguard, Weiss Schwartz, and Shadowverse Evolve. So even though we just had a Shadowverse Evolve only conference, we're going to get even more Shadowverse Evolve news in this conference. So yippee.
I'm not expecting there to be any exclusive Shadowverse news, but at the very least, Bushy, give us a Vanguard ban list.
All right. And also, we got the Level Up Expo, which is happening in Vegas, April 26th to 28th. Bushiroad will be there. The booth will have exclusive merchandise, activities, and giveaways. And in their graphic, it has Shadowverse Evolve, Weiss Schwartz, and Vanguard. So you can look forward to that if you're in Vegas or you want to travel to Vegas.
At first, I was like, oh, this event is this month, so I can't go. Oh, no, what a shame. But then I realized, I don't really want to travel to Vegas anyway.
Yeah, it's also, isn't that far away from you? So.
It's pretty far, yeah.
And finally, Bushiroad Springfest over the April 6th and 7th weekend. There were 3 Springfest events, one in Caguas, Puerto Rico, Barcelona, Spain, and Melbourne, Australia. In Melbourne, for Shadowverse Evolve, the first place team was B. Komachi. In Barcelona, it was No Nestros Club. And in Caguas, I literally couldn't find it. I spent like a whole 20 minutes looking for it, and I couldn't find it. So.
In the notes, I didn't realize. I thought at first that Kagua's was the team name, so I was like, wait, did the team just not? Were they just not able to find the BSF? Was it a skill issue?
No, Kaguas is the place. Editor Igni here. From this point on, spoiler alert for the first 12 episodes of Shadowverse Season 1, as well as Shadowverse Champions Battle. Finally, it's time for the main topic. Kaelan isn't here. You know what that means? We can waffle about the Shadowverse anime.
We can talk about the anime all we want.
All right, so Tanko, you're actually fully caught up with the anime. You've seen every single episode.
I watched the anime as it aired. Bear in mind that we are talking about the bad season, the bad times. We're talking about Shadowverse Season 1, the hero season.
I haven't seen Shadowverse Flame yet. Dude, everybody keeps telling me, you got to skip the Shadowverse Flame. You got to skip the Shadowverse Flame. It's the good one. I said, no. I refuse. I will watch the bad one. So this week, I started watching the Shadowverse Season 1 anime. I finished the first core, so the first 12 episodes. And it was a time.
Was it as bad as everyone told you?
Well, the first core is actually not that bad. I will say it's super mid though. And I feel like if I watched it right after watching Vanguard Divines, I would have hated it. But thankfully I watched it after watching Overdress Season 1, so I was fine with it.
So your standards are pretty low.
Overdress Season 1 is really bad. Whereas Shadowverse first core is really mid. But I heard that the Shadowverse anime gets even worse than this from Chris, who was telling me that it gets even worse. And I'm like, oh no.
Because right now it's just kind of mid. It's not insultingly bad yet.
So this is sort of like the conversation is between me, who just started and finished the first core of the first season, and you, who's completely up to date. So
I tanked through the entire thing as it aired.
That's even worse. You can't skip through or anything.
Like everybody says skip Shadowverse Season 1 to watch Flame, which is technically that I would recommend that too for new people, because if you try to watch Shadowverse season 1 without knowing how much better Flame is gonna be, you would not survive. You would not survive the winter.
You know what I'll tell you right now? I actually did try watching it as it aired when it first came out.
Yeah.
And I literally stopped at episode 4 because I could not care.
Yeah.
And I'm only now just revisiting it because as self-proclaimed Mr. Shadowverse, I want to get everything in. I'll even play the story mode for the game eventually.
One of these days.
So yeah, I'm actually doing everything. I'm doing the completionist run, and I'll just tell you my thoughts initially, and you can like react to it as somebody who's fully up to date. So first of all, every time Hero is not in a battle, it's instantly more interesting.
Oh my god. I'm glad you picked up on that, because that becomes a lot more apparent in the next arc.
Every Hero battle is exactly the same, except the battle against Seiya, which was actually cool, where the whole sequencing mattered, and like he had Pursuer Golem pick up a fake last words to bait the guy. That was sick.
The fight against Leon was a little bit different actually, because I don't know if you caught this, but the fight against Leon being the Mr. Shadowverse of this universe. He's the John Side Games. He's a KMR. Mm-hmm. He is the boss of Shadowverse in this universe, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught this, but that fight is the first and maybe not the only time. I don't remember because I only rewatched up to that episode recently, but it's one of the only times in the entire first half of the series where the opponent was actually able to kill Ignis Dragon.
Yeah, no. Ignis Dragon gets killed multiple times after that, don't worry. Like, Mauro kills it with Tribunal and stuff.
Okay, yeah. But it's the first time up to that point where the opponent actually had an out to Ignis Dragon, because most of the time they just let Ignis Dragon sit there, and Ignis Dragon gets to hit face, plus with his like on-strike game power.
I know.
It's so...
I will say they do fix that in the last 4 episodes.
Okay.
Leon kills it, and then Mauro kills it, and then Seiya kills it, and then Luca kills it.
All right, that's like a slight improvement. However,
but I will say they just switched from Formula A to Formula B, where
exactly.
Instead of Ignis Dragon living and killing, Ignis Dragon dies and Hero kills with some other things that he also top decks. So
also, I remember that in Leon's fight, Leon had like the coolest setup. It was the most complicated deck in the anime up to that point. He had like a really, really interesting setup. He killed Ignis Dragon, and then a turn or two later, Hero just top deck Storm Lethal, and that's it.
It's just that easy, bro.
It's just that easy, bro. It's not that deep.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem with the first core of this anime, where every game would just be like, Hero plays some weenie, Fire Lizard or whatever, then he gets Ignis Dragon off the top, and then he pulls out some lethal, and the lethals do get at least a little more interesting. Instead of just Ignis hitting face, he has like Hydra with Storm. He has like I said, the best one was the fight against Seiya, where Seiya like took the last words of the bad cards and it killed him. Like, that was cool.
On the other hand, though,
now that I'm thinking about it, I should put a spoiler warning at the beginning of the segment.
That's right.
I'll do that in post. Anyway, yeah.
I mean, not a whole lot of people care about spoilers for the season 1 anime, but it's courtesy at least.
It's courtesy. But yeah, that's one thing. Hero's fights are more boring than every other fight. Luca's fights are the most interesting by far.
Should we actually, now that I think about it, should we actually talk about the context of, like, you know, the story of what we're talking about?
Oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. Okay, so Shadowverse season 1. I'll give you the plot in a nutshell, and it'll be fun because you have the full context and I only have the first core. Yeah. So here we go. Hiro Ryugasaki, local Genki middle schooler, wakes up and he gets a vision in his brain, maybe some kind of medical condition that makes him go into his shed, and inside his shed, in a box, is an evil phone, and the phone has Shadowverse pre-installed on it. And Hiro, being an idiot, sees nothing suspicious with this at all, And it's just like, oh, sick, phone. And he goes on to his day. He plays Shadowverse. Despite being a beginner, he's inexplicably good at it. His friends Mimori and Kazuki and later on Kai all compete with him, but he seems to always win. And then this guy, he fights some phone snatcher guy. It's really not important. But what's important is that he fights this guy called Luca. And Luca literally is just playing Shadowverse to win esports money because of his sick sister. And then they go to a nationals level tournament. Hiro fights the CEO of Shadowverse to enter this nationals level tournament. And the CEO of Shadowverse seems like a really sinister, evil man. But we don't know anything about him just yet. But he's very suspicious, sitting in a big chair, looking at a big holographic screen at a bunch of teenagers going, yes, interesting. It's very sinister.
You do have some, as a Shadowverse digital player, you do have some minor spoilers from, based off of what you've seen in the digital game about some characters.
Well, I only know what happened in Champions Battle, and in Champions Battle, he's not evil in that. He's just some weird guy.
Yeah, he's just a guy.
Yeah, but I assume that he becomes evil later. Anyway, because he has that vibe. He then, you do the Nationals tournament. Hiro wins every single game, even against pros. There's that one jobber with the green hair who loses even before that. That guy sucks. Loses off screen.
The forest guy?
Yeah.
Dude, I joke about that guy all the time. There's this one guy that they keep calling a pro player, a forest main. He's the guy that played Ivy King. Do you guys remember Ivy King?
Yeah, I remember you played him as an insight, and that's it, basically.
Yeah, that's it, exactly. Yeah, you invoked him sometimes, but
yeah, I will say
in the
that
anime, I think in the anime, he like makes a bunch of fairies or something, and that's it.
Yeah, and even in Champions Battle, he's a jobber, and it's so sad because in Champions Battle, the game based on the anime, you fight him, and he's like, "I wish I was like you," and he gives this whole speech, and you're just like, "I don't even know who you are. There was not even a side quest dedicated to you."
It's so funny because the anime, I don't know if they do this on purpose, but the anime and everything, they always treat this one guy. I don't even know his name.
Yeah. Even in Champions Battle, he has like this whole speech after losing, like, "You are one of the lucky ones. You are blessed with Shadowverse talent." And I'm just like, who are you? I don't know who you are.
They keep treating this character as the coolest guy, this like brooding pro player, and he doesn't do anything. He always loses. In fact, he actually returns again in Shadowverse Flame, and he still does nothing. He just tries to look cool, and that's it. It's so funny.
Maybe it's an inside joke or something. Anyway,
I think they do it on purpose. Yeah, I hope so.
As the plot continues, it's a nationals level tournament, and at the finals, it's Hiro versus Luca. Hiro is like, "Luca, I love Shadowverse. Shadowverse is epic. Because you threw against me that one time, I'm gonna beat you for real this time." And Luca's like, "I literally don't care. I want the prize money." Luca does care a little bit insofar as Hiro fighting against Hiro is fun. I guess because Hiro has like an infectious, optimistic energy.
You know what that fight is?
What?
So this is the finale of the first quarter, like the first quarter of the anime. And you know what that fight basically is? You know that episode of SpongeBob where it's like, "Oh, Squidward, so you do like Krabby Patties." Like it is. "Oh, Luca, so you do like Shadowverse."
And Luca's like, "No, I only want money." And
I hate this game.
I hate this game. And then Hiro is like, "But Luca, if you know there are other ways to earn money, why are you playing Shadowverse?"
But Luca, you wouldn't play Shadowverse if you didn't have fun, right, guys? You would never play Shadowverse if you weren't having fun.
Anyway, in the end, Hiro wins the tournament, and Luca's like, "Damn." And then they don't bring up the fact that he doesn't get the money, which I feel like was a big plot point right before this.
Yeah, your sister is dying, but at least you had fun, Luca.
So now Hiro gets the money, and Hiro's a very simple man. He doesn't want for anything. So what is he gonna do with it?
I don't even remember the money getting mentioned. Like,
no, it's not mentioned. After he, like, right in the battle, Luca's like, I need the money to save my sister. And then after Hiro wins and Luca doesn't get the money, they don't mention it.
it's not even.
What
as
about
if,
your dying sister?
It's not even as if Hiro offers the money to Luca or anything.
No, he doesn't.
It's just we just forget that's even a thing.
It just doesn't. And then at the very end, okay, so that's a very important plot point dropped, right? Nobody even cares about it anymore. And then at the very end, Mr. Shadowverse himself, Leon Orange, comes out and he's like, by the way, this was just qualifying to a World Grand Prix event, which I thought was very fun because that's oddly realistic to real life, where they drop World Grand Prix news at the end of the Nationals. Anyway, yeah. So
it's basically the equivalent to Do This Kingdom from OG Yu-Gi-Oh, where it's basically a island, it's a tournament and an island arc.
I will say, now that I just laid it all out like that, basically nothing happens in the first 12 episodes.
Exactly. Okay, so the first few episodes are pretty decent. I would almost argue, kind of almost good, in the way that they introduce the characters and the class mechanics.
Well, I just wish that Hiro had a personality, because he, like, after watching Divines, and Akina actually has, like, a personality and a goal and a drive to do things. I was like, what the hell?
Divines ruined your standard for TCG anime, bro.
I know. Akina's based.
No, the gap between Origin Season 1 and Divine Z is pretty much the same as Shadowverse Season 1 and Shadowverse Same.
That's what I've been hearing,
so much better about that shit.
Yeah, because basically, like, out of the 3 card game anime I watched this week, Akina is the best one, and he's just good to watch, and I'm rooting for him. Yu is annoying as hell. I can't stand him. and he doesn't do anything and sucks. But maybe that's better in season 2, is what I heard, but I don't know. So far in season 1, Yu, he's horrible. And finally, Hiro, he's not even like a person. He's like a robot that just says Shadowverse Tanoshi. He doesn't have any thoughts.
He's just a vessel to advertise Shadowverse.
I can't even judge Hiro because he's not like a human being. You know, like that's the problem.
He has not had any character development, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it's really, really difficult for me to remember what they do with him in season 1. I'll say that. I will say that Hiro in the game Champions Battle is better because of that side quest where he says he's going to give up Shadowverse because he wants to take care of his grandpa, and I'm like, that's a very real issue. Like he actually has character development and struggles in Champions Battle.
Anyway.
Champions Battle has it really does feel like it has a whole different writing team that actually knows what to do with the characters.
Champions Battle fixed season 1.
Yeah, exactly. And
all it took was a self-insert MC, and they fixed it.
Shadowverse Season 1 anime is at its best when it's not focused on Hiro. That's why the first couple episodes are pretty good, because, or at least relatively good in my opinion, because they spend time introducing each character. One of the best episodes is probably Mimori versus Alice, just because it's the one episode where Hiro doesn't fight.
Yeah, and I kind of didn't like that Alice's role model Alice's bond went from Mimori, and then in the later episodes she starts like looking up to Hiro because Hiro is like outgoing and stuff. I thought that was kind of lame because I'm
pretty sure they dropped that instantly. I'm pretty sure because I don't remember much about that. So I don't think it's a thing that's gonna stick. Hopefully.
Because she kept calling him Oni-chan, and like I was like, well, weren't you developing a bond with Mimori? Why are you suddenly looking up to Hiro? Hiro hasn't done anything.
Brother, do not worry. There's gonna be a lot of Mimori out of screen time in the future.
Okay, this is good news because they actually had like chemistry.
Yeah, exactly.
And I will also say
there's several side characters. There's several side characters that have a lot of good chemistry when Hiro's not involved.
No, I was just gonna say the same thing, where like there are side characters that have like things that they could be doing, but they just lose to Hiro, and then like it's like their development doesn't happen because of that. It's like arrested, like for example, there was that Kai episode where he was actually working hard, at the game to like try and win a prize for his kids, or his younger siblings, right?
Oh no, that's Swordmane. He's the one guy whose name
Not Kai, sorry, Kazuki is what I meant to say. Yeah,
Kazuki,
yeah. But he was actually trying, and it was like, oh, we can root for this guy. He's not naturally talented. He's actually dog pissed at the game, but he's
a dumb,
trying.
stupid, meat-brain Swordmane, but he's trying.
Yeah, he's got a heart of gold. He's dumb as a bag of rocks, but he's working hard at it. You can root for him. And then he just loses to Hero anyway, and then the second place prize ends up being what he wanted in the first place. And then it's like, this is dumb. It was like the development just stopped for the sake of Hero having the win.
Hero pretty much always has to win for no particular reason. Even when the story and character development makes more sense if he were to lose to side character, he just always has to win. Because if he doesn't win, then what if he stops having Shadowverse Tanoshi?
No, but the thing is that Hero should be the one guy who can lose and still have Shadowverse Tanoshi.
Exactly.
Everybody else in the anime is so overly dramatic. They lose one game and they're like, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna walk out the window right now. But Hero,
he was like, but Tanoshi, just have fun, bro. It's just that easy. And meanwhile, he hasn't lost a single game.
It makes the Shadowverse Tanoshi more hollow because he never loses. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
If he loses and still says Shadowverse Tanoshi, not only does it make the words less hollow, but it also separates Hero as a character because everybody else who loses in Shadowverse immediately quits in this universe for some reason.
You're just a fraction of the way there, and you already see the cracks there.
It's such an issue. It's such an issue.
It's going to become even more apparent as you continue.
As a story, it's so flawed. As a meme, Hero's kind of funny though. He's just like,
he is pretty funny as a meme, yeah.
Top deck answer Himryo Ryugasaki.
Himryo Ryugasaki.
Yeah,
he is him.
He is him. He's literally blessed by the Shadowverse gods.
The thing that pissed me off the most about the first quarter, I liked the first couple episodes where they were establishing all the characters and introducing all the classes and the mechanics. That's fun and all. But we get to a tournament arc where the entire point of a tournament arc is to, showcase other characters and give them a chance to shine.
But it's literally only Hero's games.
It's just Hero.
Yeah.
It's just Hero, and we do see a couple of the other main characters get to fight in the tournament too, like Alice and Myro. Wait, Myro? Yeah, Myro.
Yeah.
The sketchy Haven main, yeah.
Luca beats that forest jobber. It was pretty funny.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And the only other fight was Seiya, who we already saw before, and I don't think he had much development.
No,
well, I guess.
Seiya is just like he's like a foreshadowing character and like a supporter to that phone snatcher guy is what it felt like.
He's a big brother of Mr. Phone Snatcher, man. Yeah.
But I will say that I totally agree with you because we never got to see Mimori fight in the tournament. First of all, Kazuki lost off screen. Kai lost off screen. Like what? So lame.
They made this big deal of like, oh, all of these characters get to participate. Oh, Mr. Shadowverse. Mr. Shadowverse said, oh, you guys are little baby bitches who are like rank D or whatever, but you guys get to participate anyway. Doesn't matter. You're supposed to be master rank to participate, but no, you guys, I'll let you guys in. And
then none of it mattered except for Hero. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It was like not very good. The more I talk about it, the less I like it.
Exactly, right. It's so frustrating.
I think that's any final thoughts on the first quarter. I would say that I heard that it gets worse, and I'm not looking forward to that. That's my final thoughts.
Dude, I rewatched the first quarter so many times because originally when the anime first aired, I was planning to do a big ass anime review video.
Yeah, you've been talking about this anime review video for I think 3 years.
It's a thing I've always wanted to do. I just don't have the time or energy to ever do it. But I did finish, at least at the time I finished the first 10 minutes, and I rewatched the first episode 20 times. So when you were posting screen caps of your Twitter reactions to the first episode, I was having actual PTSD. I've had every single frame burned into my mind from the first episode.
That's crazy. Oh yeah, I should mention, as a wrap up to this topic, if you want to see my reactions to the anime, I do post them with screen caps on Twitter, and you can live vicariously through me about what the Shadowverse anime is like. So
actually, Igni, I do want to know, because I'm a zoomer. I don't have nostalgia for these cards. How did you feel seeing all these classic cards get animated?
I'll tell you right now, some of them really, really nice, but a lot of the time, it's like Humegalols that I never saw play.
Exactly, yeah.
So like with Hero, for example, when Ayala gets animated, or like with Luca, Dark General gets animated, I'm like, oh my god, it's my guy. But then they animate a bunch of, like, what the frick is this? Sandstorm Dragon, Giant Etin, and like Blood Rage and stuff. And I'm like, what? No one cares.
Who asked for these? Oh, dude, I cannot wait for you. I can't wait for your reaction to some fights in the next quarter, dude. Oh my god.
I guess that's a good lead-in to end this topic, because since next week Kaelan is away, I'm gonna watch the next quarter over the course of this week, and we'll talk about the second core on next week's episode.
I might have to rewatch it myself too, because I rewatched the first quarter several times, but I haven't rewatched anything past that for a while. So. Yeah.
Also, when's that animator review coming out, brother? It's been literally 3 years. I think since almost when I first known you till now.
Yeah, exactly. It's because I have a lot to talk. I'm holding back real hard talking about the anime. I'm like one of the anime's biggest fans / haters.
It's two sides of the same coin, I guess.
This show has haunted me for so long, and now there's a. It's been so long. There's a whole ass sequel season that's come out. They fixed all the problems of the first season, which is nice. But now there's even more I want to talk about between both seasons.
You just gotta split it into parts, bro. You just gotta split it into parts.
That was a plan anyway. It's just. I remember when I was first trying to like draft the layout, not even like the real script, but like just a section of the script. And I'm like, wait, this is gonna take like 4 hours, because I'm pretty sure 2 of those hours was just gonna be me ranting about Hero.
I'm so excited. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell on Tonko's YouTube channel, so that if that comes out in the next 5 to 10 years, you'll be the first to watch it. All right, guys, every week we ask a question to the audience, and we get your answers back from YouTube, from Twitter, and from the Discord. Ignideus. You'll find it. Just Google it. All right. Last week's question. I don't know why that took me so long. Last week's question: if you could change one card from Heroes of Shadowverse, what would you change? We've had a lot of debate over this. Let's take a look at some of the answers. Over on YouTube, Quezel XT says, I would nerf Minth to 3 play points. Or actually, maybe buff Minth to 1 play point, as long as she stops showing up in my Lubell pool. No, they want to buff Shadow, dude. It's a bait. It's a bait answer. They want to buff Shadow.
Thank God. He was talking about Lubell last words. I was so confused. I'm like, what do you mean? No one's playing this. And I don't know why no one's playing it. It's good. But that makes sense.
No, Minth is played in Machina too, to be honest, some builds. But
it does? Oh yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah, nerfing Minth to 3 or buffing her to 1 would be so strong. Because just making the Lubell pool... Because right now, the Lubell pool, honestly, it's too crowded. You got Minth, you got Ania, which is the one you want, obviously. You got Hoverboard, who sucks balls. And then you got Viscaria, who's all right. So getting Minth and Hoverboard out of there somehow would be fantastic.
Yeah, but if they make Minth into a 3-cost, then I can't dig double... What's the 3-drop spell again? The draw? The 3-drop, draw, recover PP if you're going second. That one.
The new one?
I forgot the name. Yeah, like I play this deck all the time. Yeah, I play so many decks that have that right now, but I forgot the name. Sorry, I had the Tonko moment there.
Isunia's Reconstruction.
If you make Minth 3 PP, then I can't do double draw and still not get her.
Well, then maybe make her one.
Though.
Anyway, I think it's a funny answer. I picked this one because it was like, at first you're like, what? And then you're like, oh, do you want to buff Dubel, actually? Okay.
They had me in the first half.
Yeah, the debate. Keo from Team Manasurge over on Twitter says, they should recover 1 PP if you have more EP than your opponent to Tetra. It's dumb that this card doesn't work on 4 going second. Yeah, why did Tetra get so shafted in this set?
Wait, oh my god, it doesn't. You're right.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Tetra got so shafted for no reason. It's actually tragic. As usual, she's the worst sister. Except for that time she wasn't for like 1 month.
I don't even think that would necessarily save the deck. It's just weird that you just straight up can't do it going second.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing. Like, it's not even that it would make it broken. It would just make it functional.
That's so silly.
And then, as you can expect, over on my Discord, I picked out some answers, and there was like 12 billion people just saying different changes to Chimera. And frankly, good. that card sucks. So Shadow says Chimera, make cost reduction 2 or make damage to face on Evo. And Plump says make Chimera only fuse Bloodcraft followers. A bunch of different changes proposed. I think Chimera, after playing Wrath, there's clearly 3 best cards. One is Garnet Rondo. The second one is Chimera. And the third one is Weapon Tamer. We all know this. Yeah. So a hit to any of those, I'd be okay. The reason why I prefer hitting Chimera over the other 2 is because it's the least predictable and the most variance, you know? Whereas Weapon Tamer obviously is the best enabler, but Chimera, the fact whether you have it or not, and the fact that the delta between having it and not having it just decides games on its own, makes every game feel like it's out of your hands, and that's what I hate the most about it, which is why I would prefer a hit to that. But yeah,
for me personally, Weapon Tamer is the one that really pisses me off because turn 3 Wrath, what?
Yeah, I would say it's one of the 2. Rondo is also really good, to be fair. I think any of those would be a good hit. Yeah.
Obviously, all of them are really good, but for me personally, it's the fact that they get Wrath so early.
Yeah.
Because if they get Wrath that early, they can start fusing Chimera from turn 4 onwards, and that's when it really becomes a problem.
You can fuse Chimera on turn 3.
I know, but like theoretically, thankfully, no one's highballed that hard against me yet.
I've done it like maybe in half my games with Wrath.
Because whenever I fight against Wrath, typically if they don't get the Weapon Tamer turn 3/4 Wrath active, I'm okay. Because if it takes them longer to start fusing Wrath, then it gives me more time to prepare and catch up.
Well, then that's I feel like that's still either or the Weapon Tamer or the Chimera, which is the big issue. I feel like it's just like we're slightly different. I would do Chimera first, then Tamer, then Rondo, and it sounds like you're doing Tamer, Chimera, Rondo, right? It's kind of.
I wish Weapon Tamer was just a Machina card. Like I don't care for this generic Wrath shit. I want pure Machina mono to be good, not this soulless aggro Wrath nonsense.
Yeah, and then even mono is on Machina. It's an evolved deck. Like the best card in that deck is Leon and Alfie. It's like okay. Sag. Anyway.
Did we talk about what cards we would want to change / buff already last week? I don't remember exactly.
Well, Kaelan said that he wants... What did he say? He said
something about
he wanted to buff Technolord for some reason. He's insane. And then, what do you want?
I want them to take out Agil's leader limitation. The 6 procs. I don't want a curfew. Just let me have my fun, mom. Just let me play 20 artifacts like a real artifact deck, mom.
Excuse me, sir. I said Heroes of Shadowverse card. I mean, technically, I put a Mint answer in here, but that was a Lubel buff.
Oh yeah.
What would I change? I mean, other than the obvious, Chimera, Rondo, Tamer, maybe. Honestly, maybe make Roly-Poly a 2-cost too to pollute the Lubel pool more.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Yeah. Other than that, make one of those weenie dragon followers that don't do anything actually good for natural dragon. Make the 1-drop summon the Treon fanfare instead of last words. There you go. Let's just say that.
I wish Buffalo was actually good. Maybe if they made his fusion not as scuffed as hell, if it wasn't so conditional, it'd be a bit more techable. But
Let me really think through it. What's the card I actually want to be good in this set? The thing is, I'm actually happy with the Dragon Legendaries. It's just that the environment is bad for Dragon right now.
There's actually quite a few stuff in this expansion where a lot of classes have really fun stuff to play. They just don't thrive in the Wrath format.
Yeah. Oh, I would give Girolol better stats. Why does Leon and Alfie get good stuff and then Girolol is so much worse for no reason?
Oh, so dude, Swordcraft. As much as I like bullying Sword mains, Sword has a lot of really fun stuff in this expansion that they just can't really play right now. Dude, when we played the tournament, Ignideus tournament, the car plays.
That was funny. The fact that the car is empty stats for your Peerless Warrior is funny too.
The funny car is so much fun, and there actually could be potential there, maybe. But
I feel like they should give them, other than the 3-drop spell, more ways to utilize that Baron spell as fuse fodder, because that's a really cool implementation of it.
Yeah, that's a really interesting game. Mechanic design that we just can't really do anything with.
We got the less interesting one, right? Where because the Baron spell is temporary, it's more interesting. Meanwhile, the Selena one is just like 12 times better for no reason. It's like, okay.
Surprisingly, there's actually not that many cards I'd want to change for Protocraft besides just vaguely make Belflement better. Although, it does really piss me off that Nameless Impulse, the Bronze Miser spell. It really pisses me off that card just does not draw.
Yeah, why doesn't it? Didn't Unnamed Determination draw last time back in the day?
Yeah, exactly. That was the main thing, is that it was a draw to a recover EP, but they just kept the EP part. You know, the part that like no one like they put EP recover, Evo Point recover in the one deck that doesn't actually care that much about hard evoing.
Can I tell you a tragic story? In my climb with Wrath, I fought one Evo portal. And
how'd that go?
They got one shin up on turn 7 and then immediately died. So,
how embarrassing.
It's rough, man. That deck, that deck has no sauce anymore. It's good. It's gone. It's goners.
You know what's the most depressing part about that? I realized this after the expansion came out. Evo Shin Protocraft is the last actual top tier Protocraft deck we likely will ever have in Shadowverse 1.
Good.
And it wasn't even that good. I didn't even like that deck. Good.
Well, don't worry. When throwback rotation happens and we go back to Nicola, Noah puppet spam, you'll have your time.
We'll get to
Nicola, what's his name?
Glory
Nicholas.
Days. Yeah, we'll get to relive the glory days. Yay.
Yippee. Anyway, that's that question. And also, we have next week's question of the week. Wow, that's dumb when I say that. Relating to our main topic this week, have you seen the Shadowverse anime season 1? If not, why not? And if so, what did you think? We said what we thought, so tell us your thoughts.
I feel like most of the responses to if you haven't watched, why not? Most of the responses will be like, "Oh, I was told that it's bad and to skip it to watch Shadowverse Flame." I'll tell you right now. Here's the thing. Go on.
No, I was just gonna say, listen, the sweetness of the universe is nothing without the nadirs. You know, like you have to experience pain to know the true pleasure.
I was just gonna say that, like, season 1 skippers are cowards. Season 1 is super ass, but you can't even fathom how satisfying Shadowverse Flame. If you don't fully understand how bad season 1 was. You don't deserve Hiro Ryugasaki at his best if you can't handle him at his worst.
Yeah, you have to. It's character development for the show. It's character development for you. It's like it builds character. you gotta go through it.
You gotta eat your veggies.
Exactly. It's the Brussels sprouts of anime. Now dig in. I will say that's it for this week's episode. It's a strangely long one, despite there being no news. There you go. Well,
if you really let me, like, if we actually had if you had watched the entire season, I could go on for days about this anime, bro.
Well, this is a good thing we're splitting it up. Next week, well, same bat time, same bat channel. we're doing the core 2. I gotta get watching. So I'll get started on that tonight. Let's get into it. Tonko, thank you for joining me for another episode of Evolve Point. You can check out Tonko in the description down below, and you can also just check us out as Evolve Point on wherever you find your podcasts. Is that
Yippee.
it? You got an
Wait,
outro?
usually Kaelan does outro before me. So it was like a muscle memory of like me leaving a gap for Kaelan to speak. I'm like,
Short circuit.
no, oh, what happened? Where's Kaelan? Oh, the accent was my fault.
Also, Tonko streams on Twitch. Go check him out. He plays.
Oh yeah, I do that.
He plays Portal.
I do play Portalcraft sometimes.
Yeah, and I stream too. But honestly, this week I'm streaming not Shadowverse. So.
Yeah. Hey, you're gonna actually play V-Link now. Yippee!
Finally, I know. Yippee! Yeah, that's it for this week's episode. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.